Welcome to the Scott Townsend Show, brought to you by Dietzo Man Productions.
Hey, this is Scott Townsend, and you're listening to the Scott Townsend Show. And today I have, first off, it's day 16 in the 30-day podcast challenge. So we're at 16. We're over halfway to 30, so that's great. It's a Saturday, and I decided to record a phone call and ask a question, and I would like your opinion. Listen in. Here's the question, and then I'll follow up with you after the recording's over. So, here we go.
Hey, this is Scott. I'm doing a podcast episode, and I have a question for you. I want to get your opinion on something.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. So, here's the situation. I was on a Southwest flight. I think I was either going to Houston or coming back from Houston. And I was, I can't remember which one. I was sitting towards the back of the plane. And people were still boarding. And at one point, this college football-looking guy and his little Barbie girlfriend were coming down the aisle, and he stopped at this guy sitting in the aisle, and he asked the guy to switch seats, to get up and switch seats so he and his girlfriend could sit together. Cool or not cool?
I mean, you can always ask. I volunteer when I'm flying Southwest and I see a couple and they get on late, and, I volunteer to move, especially if it's a big guy, because it's really hard for a big guy to sit in the middle of this thing. I'd rather give him the outside seat. So I've done that many a times. Because, I mean, if you're a little guy and you're in an outside seat, and there's a big old boy, and he's going to have to sit in the middle, it's going to cramp both the inside and the out. So this way, only one person gets cramped. Person sitting in the middle. So I volunteered, and I've seen, especially with kids and, mom and a kid or something.
Right, I get that. I totally get that.
So,
or an elderly couple.
Yeah.
But I have a problem with the guy even asking the question because...
No, I mean, but communication. If you say, hey, would you mind, me and my girlfriend, we unfortunately didn't get signed up early enough. Is there any way you would switch? And most people will probably say no because they're not very nice, but I'm a nice guy, so I've had to volunteer. I mean, this guy
that I saw did get up and move, but he was obviously not
happy about
enjoying
moving.
it. Yeah.
Well, then he shouldn't have moved. He should have just said, no, I won't move. But don't be halfway. So I've seen a situation where this was going on, and the guy was put out, and I said, hey, dude, I'll tell you what. You take my seat on the edge. I'll go sit in the middle. So just...
Why was he put out?
Well, because he basically wouldn't move for a child and a mom, and I was sitting like 2 rows ahead of him, and I saw it going on behind me, and I said, hey, I'll take the middle seat, but I only had the 2 seats beside me were already booked, so there was
right.
this, I couldn't fix it by moving. So I said, hey, you get up, take my aisle seat. That frees up. There's 2 seats for her and her child, and then I'll go jump in one of these middle seats back here in the back of the plane. And the guy goes, okay. And the stewardess came up to me and said, thank you. And she said, would you like a free drink? And I said, I don't drink. But I mean, it was just, you got to work together.
Right.
You know, when you're on an airplane, and in my opinion, when I see a skinny person in an aisle seat, I understand why they get in an aisle seat, but then you see a monster guy. I mean, I was on a plane where there was assigned seating, and it was a weird plane where the guy, he couldn't even get his, they had like a big center thing that didn't move up. The arm didn't move up. He was so big he couldn't even get in it.
Oh, yeah.
Into the seat. He wouldn't even fit. And he asked the stewardess, it was a guy stewardess, said, hey, I need to move over there to one of those other seats. And the steward guy was kind of hateful. It was like American or somebody. Or, you know, and he goes, one of the other airlines, it wasn't Southwest because it was assigned seating. And the guy goes, no, you just sit in there because I can't fit in this seat because I can't move the center rest up. You know, and the girl that was sitting on the other side this guy was big. So I'm sitting on the end aisle. There's nobody sitting beside me yet in the other two seats. So I looked at the guy as he is sitting, his butt won't go into the thing. And I said, hey, dude, I'll trade you. So we swap. The steward guy comes back and sees him sitting in that seat. He goes nuts on the guy. Says, hey, I told you not to move. And I looked at the steward guy and said, hey, dude, that's my seat. I gave it to him. I traded him. You know? So it wasn't like he was sitting in an empty seat. And the steward guy goes, okay. And it turns out nobody ever sat down in those other two. So the big guy could put the center thing up, and he was so big that he took up two seats.
Yeah.
It was one of those older planes that had the center console didn't lift up. You know. Now the girl that was,
You mean the armrest?
you know, the armrest would not lift up.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was one of those things that it was like right by a exit deal, so it had a wall right in front of you. It was a weird seat, but the girl was happy that I traded because you know this guy was huge. So now all of a sudden, little skinny guy sat down there.
So if the armrest didn't come up on the plane, then how did this guy sit in two seats?
No, the ones I was in, the armrest did come up. But the seats he was in, it was just two seats. I was in a row with three seats. Yeah.
Okay.
But
You're just a nice guy.
I'm a nice guy. Yeah.
It's just it doesn't work unless we all work together, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. So I've seen a lot of nice people on airplanes. I've seen a lot of bad people too.
Yeah.
People. And that's what's sad. Everybody needs to be nice. We're all cooped up in a small area.
Right. Just everybody.
We all got to get along.
We're all good.
Work together.
We're all go to the same place, and we'll be there in about an hour.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to Australia or something.
Yeah. And if you're a C section on a Southwest plane, you're not getting you're not getting an aisle seat probably. Just sit down and let's get this thing moving. All right. Exactly. I got to go.
All right. See ya.
So there it is. Would you give up your aisle seat if some guy and his girlfriend wanted to sit together and made you sit in a center seat somewhere else? Let me know in the comments below. I don't think I think it's wrong to even ask the question. I think they should just make the best of it. Don't put anybody else out because you can't sit apart for 90 minutes or whatever it is. Now, if it's a mother and young child or an elderly couple, I totally get that. And before they even ask, I would probably get up and offer the aisle seat so that they could be together. A young guy and his girlfriend, no, you guys figure it out. So anyway, that's my take. So thanks for listening in. Leave your comments down below. I'd like to hear what you think about, would you give up your aisle seat? Cool or not cool? And if you missed any part of this podcast, we invite, or you want to listen to it again, invite you to subscribe or ask your smart speaker to play the Scott Townsend Show. You can also watch the podcast on YouTube, this recorded video. We have merchandise. If you want a coffee mug, t-shirt, whatever, just go to Teespring. It's in the show notes below. Make yourself available to that. And what else? I think that's it. I think it's really cool that you can mention the show, the Scott Townsend show, to Alexa or your smart speaker, and it just starts playing. How cool is that? Hey, this is Scott Townsend. Thanks for listening to the Scott Townsend Show. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.
The Scott Townsend Show is a Dietzo Man production. For more episodes, visit the Scott Townsend Show YouTube channel, listen on Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.